Hello and a warm welcome to this special 10th anniversary celebration of the Yamaha R Series.
We've got some exclusive entertainment for you on this DVD. We'll look back at 10 years of the R Series dynasty, starting with the original R1, whose arrival on the scene in 1998 had an atomic effect on the supersports market. There's a roundup of Yamaha's 2007 racing season. You will have seen and hopefully entered our competition to win a place on the 2008 Yamaha Race Academy, where you will meet the stars and learn how to ride like a top racer. To demonstrate this once-in-a-lifetime prize, we have included a little taste of last year's event. We'll take you on a tour of the awesome new 2008 R6, showing you the technology and all the features that are going to establish this bike as the new benchmark in the middleweight supersports class.
The first real treat for you. We're going to improve your riding skills without you even having to leave your armchair. For that, we're going to need 3 unique ingredients.
The first is Yamaha's very special new bike, built to commemorate the 10th anniversary of the R Series, the new YZF R6. Next, we need a unique, highly challenging location, the exclusive Ascari race resort. And finally, we need a very extraordinary rider, multiple world champion Valentino Rossi. He will be showing you, straight from the saddle, some of the techniques and skills he's used to dominate the racing scene in recent years and made him one of the all-time two-wheeled legends. It's Valentino's 10-step guide to motorcycling magic. And the doctor will be performing all his operations from the seat of a road-ready 2008 R6. Whether you are a novice or a regular track day enthusiast, his top tips will help you to become a more skilled track rider. Okay, ready? Then let's get started. It's always important to familiarize yourself with a new circuit before attempting to ride fast. Valentino and I chose to check out the Ascari circuit by car.
This is like a dream, eh? Yeah. Overcrossed. Also this corner is strange, eh? Yeah. Difficult.
Bear in mind, a track will change in character with every single day. When the sun is in a different place, it is overcast, raining, sunny, and so on.
Fast chicane.
Fast chicane, quick flick, still on the gas. The curb is a little.
When Valentino arrives at a new track, he will walk or drive the circuit to understand at first hand the nature of the banking or camber of the corners.
And here, it's not so bad.
This one is more flat.
Yeah. But you don't have to come all the way to the outside.
Having done so, he will ride a lap or two on a scooter to add some real speed to what he has already learnt. It also shows him where the track has bumps. He can feel them as they cannot always be seen.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Hairpin.
Yeah, very much. So, late in.
I know hairpin, but tight.
Tight. Yeah, one of the tight zones.
You have the run of fire is not the maximum, right?
No, yeah. This is. The camber is very good here.
Beautiful, eh?
Yes.
Once he is completely familiar with all the challenges of the circuit, he will attempt to ride at race pace. There are 3 different lines Valentino uses on a racetrack: the qualifying line, the defensive or overtaking line, and the racing line. Each one of these lines has advantages and disadvantages for racing. The qualifying line is the fastest one round any given corner. It has a wide entry and requires that you turn the bike quickly. As a result, you can get back on the throttle very early. It is the classic in slow, out fast line that all racers should use. The defensive or overtaking line is the exact opposite. It requires Valentino to turn the bike early and to get to the inside of the corner on the shortest route possible. This means he can enter the corner with a much higher speed, but will not be able to get on the throttle as quickly and will lose speed on the exit of the corner. It is the fast in, slow out, and strangely enough, it is the natural but incorrect line novice racers start to use when they decide to try and go faster. The racing line is a compromise of the other two lines. It is not as quick as the qualifying line, nor as slow as the defensive line. So it allows Valentino to go fast, but not to leave a way through for a competitor behind to go up the inside.
In a very fast chicane, left and right, where is a very important line for keep the acceleration. Here also the handling is so beautiful.
The front brake is the tool Valentino uses to set his speed for the corner. For braking on the track, he is not looking to stop, but looking to set his corner speed. As such, the braking he does on track is almost the exact opposite of what you would do on the road. On the road, we are taught to squeeze the brake lever harder as the speed drops to allow us to stop as soon as possible. On the track, he wants to set his speed in the shortest possible space, so he does the opposite. The first part of his braking is light, then followed by very, very hard braking, and then the brake is trailed off into the corner. This effectively does two things. It shortens the distance needed to set the corner entry speed, and it allows him to move his braking point closer to the corner, therefore allowing him to be on full gas for longer before the corner.
After another straight arrive in a long right corner that is blind, so it's difficult to understand the line. And after have a difficult hard braking for right hand side hairpin. So also here the R6 work very well.
This technique was developed by Moto racers, but it can also be used to good effect on a race bike on the track too. However, like Moto, it only really helps in tight corners, like slow hairpins. Getting the rear wheel to turn slower than the front wheel makes the back of the bike step out on the approach to the corner. This allows Valentino to set the bike up earlier for the exit of the corner by having it pointing towards the exit sooner. Using the rear brake for this technique is a tool to keep the rear wheel turning slower than the front. Most of this slowing down is done with engine braking, and the rear brake is just used to stop the rear wheel speed from catching up and matching the engine speed. Valentino is not trying to lock the wheel, as this will send his bike out of control, as it stops the biggest gyro effect from keeping the bike stable. Jumping too hard on the rear brake will only lock the rear wheel and cause an uncontrollable skid.
Go for another hard braking for another hairpin, that is difficult, a lot of sliding in the entry, turn and keep the acceleration for the fast part of the track.
The throttle is the most precise tool Valentino has under his command when riding, and as such, he treats it with the utmost respect and understanding. It is not an on-off switch, but a finely crafted instrument that will, with correct use, give him the precision needed for fast lap times. The throttle should be applied the right amount at the right time. To understand this, we must think of the corner in sections: entry, apex, and exit. Each one of these sections requires a very different application of the throttle. At the entry of the corner, as he turns the bike onto its desired line, the throttle is closed. This loads the front suspension, which, as well as using the brakes, allows the bike to turn more easily. Once online, he needs to settle the bike by using a gradual, continuous roll-on. Once he can see the exit, or his next marker, and the bike is coming upright, he can start driving, getting harder on the gas and controlling wheel spin.
All this part is in acceleration, quite full, and have a long double left corner that is very fast, and accelerate another time and go for another hard braking for another hairpin.
The timing of when Valentino looks ahead to his next reference point is just as important as where he's looking. Of course, to start this process, he has to know what he should be looking for, and this can be broken down into the following basic points. A brake marker, an entry point, an apex, an exit, the straight, or the next corner. Most people understand and know the need for a braking marker, but the other 4 points are just as important if you want to go faster. Whenever you see Valentino in the middle of a corner, he's already looking up the track for the next reference point. Without them, he would be inconsistent and his lap times would be down to luck. MotoGP bikes all have launch control that allows the rider to keep the throttle fully open and simply drop the clutch to get away from the line. First of all, Valentino needs to get his body position right, even with start control. He gets his head tucked right up front and inside the screen. His right leg is on the foot peg and left on the ground ready for the launch. The left foot is just holding the balance of the bike until he can get it on the peg as soon as possible as the bike starts to move. Bringing the revs up to about midway for the start, some racers blip the throttle. Valentino holds his steady. He then feeds the clutch until it bites, and as the lights change, he gradually increases the revs. If it starts to wheelie, then he can stroke the clutch lever so it disengages slightly, reducing power to the rear wheel, or use the rear brake. Not getting the foot onto the peg quickly enough can cause wheelies, losing valuable forward drive. The sooner he gets it on the peg, the sooner his centre of mass is closer to the front wheel, keeping it from going skyward. In a chicane or S's, the only way Valentino can get through at speed is to turn the bike very quickly. The reason race bikes are designed to be a little unstable is to allow this quick change in direction. The quicker he can turn the bike, the faster he can go through. If he turns too slowly, the bike will not change direction in time and he will run off the track, as clearly demonstrated here. Body movement is a crucial element in changing direction.
And after a braking for a very difficult left corner because it's downhill, and another fast change of direction.
Valentino needs to get his body moved across the bike as quickly as possible, but this can create instability, and he can lose a lot of time if he does it incorrectly. Again, there are some basic steps. In this case, timing and technique. A chicane is the one place on a track where he has to make the largest and quickest changes to his body position on the bike. When Valentino approaches a corner, he sets his body position before the turn. This means that when the bike is leant left, he has already moved to the right, ready for the right turn. Then, as the bike goes right, he moves to the left, ready for the left turn.
very important the line, because after I have a double chicane that pull you in a long left corner that make all in acceleration, and after I have another chicane that go a lot uphill.
Valentino wants to get the best speed from his bike at all times, and how he positions his body on the straights has a huge effect on the top speed of the bike. A small difference in body position can have as much as 10 kilometers an hour difference on any bike's potential top speed. To get as much speed as possible, even on the shortest straights, the first thing he has to do is relax his grip on the handlebars to allow the bike to be as stable as possible. Now fully relaxed, he gets his head forward and right behind the screen, getting so low that his chin is almost resting on the fuel tank. This helps the airflow over the front part of the bike, and this alone will give him a good terminal velocity. For those last few kilometers an hour, he will slide back to touch the seat hump, creating a more streamlined aerodynamic silhouette. We hope you've enjoyed watching this selection of riding tips from Yamaha and Valentino Rossi. Whenever and wherever you use them, always ride within your own ability. Even if you don't get to be the next Valentino, we hope he has given you some valuable ideas for improving your track riding skills.